Hey everyone, welcome to my ninja guide. I'm sorry for taking so long to produce this, but it's finally here. So without further ado, let's get into it. In order to understand my combos, you must first understand CC mechanics, the basics. Crowd control. These all occur in CCs. There is a max limit of 2 primary CCs in a combo. After being hit with 2 primary CCs, you will be invulnerable for 5 seconds, meaning you cannot be CC'd until this timer is up. Primary CCs consist of a knockdown, bound, float, knockback, stun, grapple, and freeze, but that's only for wizards and witches. Secondary CCs. Stiffness can also be applied to the combo chain that already consists of 2 primary CCs. Air and down smashes are completely different from the primary CCs. A down smash can only be activated after your opponent has been hit by a bound or a knockdown. It also has a 30% chance of succeeding. An air smash has a 100% chance of succeeding, but can only be activated after a float. Here's an example of a full duration CC combo. Murderous Intent to apply the secondary CC, a stiff, then Serpent to apply the first primary CC, a float, followed by Blade Spin, a filler with a chance to down smash. It didn't down smash here, unfortunately. Then Malice, another filler, followed by Shadow Stomp, the second primary CC, a float, C-Swap, Murder's Intent, another filler, followed by Katana Shower, the final filler. Special attack modifiers. Do you ever look at your skills tooltip and wonder, what in the hell is a down attack? Well, let me tell you, young Padawan. When your opponent has their back exposed to you, your attacks deal an additional 1.5 times the damage. Skills listed with the speed attack deal an additional 1.5 times the damage to opponents as they charge at you. Skills listed with the counter attack deal an additional 2 times the damage if the attack lands while an opponent is casting a skill mid-animation. Attacks on opponents that are knocked down or bound inflict an additional 1.5 times the damage. Skills listed with air attack deal an additional 2 times the damage to targets that are knocked into the air by a float. And lastly, attacks that crit deal an additional 2 times the damage. Protection. Here I'm going to explain to you the 3 types of protection. Pay attention, because this is how you survive in battle. You can't dish out damage if you're dead, right? Super Armor is a mechanic that absorbs all CCs from every direction and nullifies them, with the exception of grapple. However, you take full damage. Frontal or forward guard is a mechanic that blocks all CCs, with the exception of grapple, and nullifies them in a cone-shaped direction in front of you. If you're blocking, your back is still vulnerable to CCs. You don't take damage while blocking, but you have a shield that diminishes over time, or when damage is taken, and whenever your shield runs out, be careful because you'll be taking all the damage afterwards. Invulnerable or invincibility frame, aka I-frame. It's a mechanic normally seen in movement-based skills where you're completely invulnerable. You cannot be CC'd, you cannot take damage, and you're also immune to grapples. Magir! Generally speaking, ninjas want to go high AP, however this makes you quite squishy on large scale. Therefore, most ninjas like to run Evasion Hybrid or an Evasion Stack. Personally, I like my current build with Pen Heave and Pen Muskin with Begs, because I want to be able to kill any target that also runs Evasion Hybrid. I use Muskins over Uragons because ninjas benefit a lot from evasion stats. As you can see here, Smokescreen gives you an all evasion rate plus 18%. Killer Training, our passive, also gives you melee evasion rate plus 1%, evasion 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 plus 1%, and yeah, you essentially get the gist. You can also get add-ons that give you evasion as well from Murder's Intent, as shown here. Okay, so generally speaking, ninjas do benefit a lot from evasion. Here are my gems. They're self-explanatory. 4 Han Hooms is generally the best gem setup for ninjas due to having many stats. I recently obtained a Garma's Heart, so now I use Special Attack Evasion in my chest piece. Special Attack Evasion gives you a chance to evade a target's special attack modifiers, a very OP mechanic. Jin Vipers is used to obtain 5 attack speed and 40 accuracy, very good versus evasion hybrids. Precision is your most important gem because it gives 10% ignore all resistances times 2. Very important for grapples. And last but not least, Awakening Gems for offhand. I chose these because I value the 300 HP due to fighting against Siege and Node Wars quite often. You can't believe how many times I've lived with under 50 HP. If you want to go Glass Cannon, you're welcome to run 2 critical hit damage gems. These are a list of skills that you want to max first. High priority. Target Chase, high priority. Ghost Step, high priority. Ninja Evasion, medium priority. You don't really need this. Absolute Fatal Blow. Make sure you get the flow. Brace is medium priority. Ninja Step, high priority. Crescent Slash, you can keep it at level 1. Floor Sweeping, level 1. Throwing Kick, you want to make sure this is max because you can't cancel it at level 1. Malice, absolute, high priority. Shriek and Flight, low priority. You can keep this at level 1. Shadow Slash, low priority, level 1. Smoke Screen, high priority. Heart Aiming, high priority. Suicide Fall, low priority. You don't need to level this. Ankle Cutter, high priority, but you don't need it to be absolute. Level 5 is more than sufficient just to have the maxed DP debuff. Ghost Greeting, high priority. You only need a level 3 though to have the lowest cooldown. Foxclaw, this is medium priority. I use it a lot personally, but you don't need Foxclaw. It's more for stylish points. Shadow Stomp, high priority. Clone, you can keep this at level 1, medium priority. Boss Slaughter, when you get better at Ninja, you can level this up if you'd like. Shackles, you just need this level 4 in order to unlock your Revamp skill. Ground Thrust, obviously level 1, you don't need it. Blaze Spin is a must, this is high priority. Black Moonlight, you can keep this at level 1, low priority. Beheading of the Dead, high priority, absolute. Killer Training Passes, obviously max them out. Infinite Mastery, max this out. If you grind a lot, Skilled Hunter, max this out, but you should max it out anyways. Oni Shadow, level 56. Make sure you get that for your Rebam. Your level 57 Rebam is Illusion of Restraint. Moving on to Awakening skills. Flash Bondage, make sure you get this. This is your Awakening grab. Vengeful Barrier is very good for grinding at high-end zones like History and Ackman. If you'd like, you can get that as well. Corrupted Sword Dance is low priority, you don't need. Murderous Intent, max, high priority. Sudden Decap is also a damage filler, very good for grinding at high zones. This is medium priority, however. Serpent Ascension, make sure you max, high priority. Katana Shower, high priority. Drastic Measure is medium priority, you can keep it at level 1, you don't really use this as much. When you get more gear and more levels, when you have like extremely high damage, then this becomes a lot more stronger. Silent Charge, level up, obviously, this is high priority. Seamless, high priority. Shadow Cloak, high priority. Awakening Block Jump, high priority. These 4 skills you don't really need. Sewer Chaos Spray is a decent skill to use while grinding for high-end zones. Okay. Here are my skill add-ons. The reason why I set these skills the way I did is because whenever I do combos, these skills are generally used at the beginning. What this means is that as I progress through the entire combo, my skills get stronger and stronger until the finisher, which ends up having a bunch of buffs stacked up. Buffs. A lot of people ask me what my food rotation is whenever I PvP or whenever I grind. For Ackman and Hystria, I generally use an exclusive Cron meal, Body Enhancement Villa, and the Giant's Draft. Whenever I PvP a Node Wars, Siege, or even a GVG, I normally use, in this order, Knight's Combat Rations, Special Cambasylvia meal, Jumbo King of Jungle Hamburg, and Special Valencia meal. I make sure they're all the special versions because I want to make sure they all have 120 minutes. And because of that, I can actually have them up permanently. You're probably wondering, but yELo, you don't have any movement speed or crit. Well, young nerdo, I mean ninja. There's a reason for that. First off, level 5 crit only grants you 25% critical hit rate, which means each level of crit only provides 5% crit. Soft cap crit is at 60%. Now, if you look at all of your most important skills, like Fatal Blow, 100% crit. Malice, 100% crit. Heart Aiming, 100% crit. Ankle Cutter, 100% crit. Shadow Clone, even though you don't really use the skill that much, 100% crit. Beheading of the Dead, 100% crit. Murderous Intent, 50% crit. Sudden Decapitation, 100% crit. Serpent Ascension, 100% crit. Drastic Measure, 100% crit. As you can see, you don't really need crit. As for movement speed being level 0, You don't really need movement speed because it doesn't really affect our skills in any way. That's a myth. And since you have the skill called Target Chase, it has a cooldown of 20 seconds, but it has a duration of 20 seconds as well, meaning you have permanent sprint. After the huge nerf to Ninja's kit on January 23rd, 2019, a lot of people wanted to quit and reroll off Ninja. Our super armor cycle took a severe hit. Normal grab no longer has SA, so we can't go for aggressive grab plays. Stealth will now be removed when being hit while using concealment. Hurts our large scale and RBF abilities. Blade Spin lost flow, so now you actually have to use it as a form of super armor cycle or combo filler. Beheading the Dead lost super armor on the third phase of the skill, so we can't linger the super armor to go for counterplays anymore. Beheading did receive a DB debuff, however, so that's not too bad. Despite all of these nerfs, I think Ninja's in a fine place at the moment. We're still very strong in large scale given high AP, and still the top class in 1v1, and we can still cycle whatever super armor we have left over effectively. These nerfs just made all of the Flavor of the Month ninjas reroll off to another class. Movement, in my opinion, is the most important skill for ninjas. The way I see it is, if you get caught as a ninja too easily, you aren't doing your job, and that's to be evasive. What is the point of having 290 AP but you're always dead? In the next clip, I'll be showing you a basic movement string. As you can see, I try to weave my Ghost Step, which has a 1 second cooldown in between 1 to 2 movement skills. This allows me to constantly keep my iframe up while moving, a simple technique that puts you into the habit of constantly rotating your iframe. Go inside into the arena, and start here. It's the first exercise, and the goal is for you to reach the other side of the arena from here. The condition is that you're only allowed to use each skill once. You can use Ghost Step as many times as you want, but you can't use Ghost Step twice in a row. Congratulations! You can now move on to the next exercise, young ninja. Movement in a circle. As you already know, not every target will be in a straight line, so you need to learn how to control your camera. The second exercise will teach you how to control your camera as you use those same movement skills. As you can see here, I am constantly turning my camera left and left and left, weaving it in between my skills. Woohoo! You finally made it to the final exercise. This is where people have a hard time learning ninja and why opponents struggle on hitting a ninja. Erratic movement allows you to constantly put yourself in your opponent's blind spot. A blind spot is an area where your opponent has to turn their camera to physically see you, because by the time it takes them to turn their camera, you've already casted your next skill. And in fights where a split second can determine whether or not you live or die, this becomes very, very important. Every time you use a movement option, you'll want to turn your camera instantly 180 degrees or 45 to 90 degrees in a sharp direction, and you want to end up behind your target at all times, thus creating the illusion that you're hard to see. Here's another exercise to improve your erratic movement while learning your cooldown timings by muscle memory. You'll notice that I'm standing in Belia. Oh? What's that? I need to go to the marketplace to pick up some giant straps? How do I get there? Should I call my horse? No. This is how you get there. Now you're gonna be as fast as those anime ninjas. Engages and disengages. Engages are very important as a ninja. You have to know when to attack and when not to attack. Ever since the recent nerf to ninjas and kunos, we have a little more difficulty engaging safely, so you have to play a little riskier. In this section, I'm going to try to explain some of the options a ninja can do, some risky, some safe. Just because our options aren't always safe doesn't mean it's a bad option. Before we get to my combos, you must first learn how to open on a target. How are you going to land any combos if you can't even land a hit? Here are some examples of openers. They're not all perfect, but as you gain more experience, you'll understand when to use them. I'm I'm using the right input of Silent Charge, as well as going behind him before I cast my Murderous Intent. This allows me to bypass his frontal guard. As you can see here, I'm pressing Ninja Step and then pressing spacebar twice to activate Smokescreen and Concealment, followed by another Ghost Step into a Beheading of the Dead. This allows me to bypass frontal guard once again. This is just a basic opener from stance to Silent Charge into block jump into a grab. Normally you want to use these against wizards and witches. Once again, I'm using Ghost Step and Ninja Step to go behind them and then turning my camera 180 degrees while I do my Shadow Stomp. This is just another variation of the previous engage, assuming that you don't have Ninja Step. This engage is slightly more advanced than the previous ones because it uses a 180-degree camera turn and a C-swap, which provides a frontal guard, allowing me to block this Tamer Lollychan's attack. Disengages. It's quite obvious that not every opener will land a clean hit, so what happens when you miss your opener? Sometimes you can keep going and keep playing aggressive, and sometimes you just need to disengage when you run out of skills. Experience will teach you when to disengage. Here's an example of what you could do after your opener misses or gets blocked. Note that you don't need to do this all the time, and there's many different variations of disengaging. The idea is to protect yourself while you dash away. WW Evasion Hotkey. Some of you are asking what the heck this is and why it's important to have. There's going to come a time when you go for a block jump and you're just going to get hit by a random AoE CC. I have my WW Hotkey set to my right mouse button. Mouse function 2. But you can use any button you want, whatever is comfortable to you. Here's a clip of me not using the WW Evasion Hotkey input and what could potentially happen in large scale. Here's the same scenario, but with the Evasion Hotkey. The main purpose of this technique is to allow your block jumps to be safe when all of your grabs are on cooldown. It makes it so that instead of pressing W to teleport behind your target, you're immediately appearing out of block jump with Ghost Step, which gives you a second iframe. Ankle Whiffing is a powerful advanced technique that every ninja and Kuno should know how to use. It uses a pre-awakening skill called Ankle Cutter that causes a bound off cooldown. The trick about this skill is that if you use the skill on cooldown, it doesn't apply the bound, but it still applies the DP debuff. In order to do ankle whiff combos, you must first learn how to cancel ankle cutter properly. You first cast the ankle cutter, then go step backwards. As you can see, the cooldown of the skill went off, which means you did it correctly. Now, you want to speed this process up so you don't even see the slash of ankle cutter. Here's an example of an ankle whiff combo created by Dana. Here's the same combo in slow motion. I casted Shadow Slash to increase the speed of the skills. When I landed my pre-awakening grab, which causes a bound, my first CC, I turned my camera 180 degrees while in the air. This gives you more time to turn your camera. When I landed, I used the ankle whiff and ghost step backwards, then Malice to proc my skill add-ons, followed by a second ankle cutter because it's now on cooldown. So it will not use up my second CC, but still applies the DP debuff. Then C-swap, Murderous Intent to apply the stiff, Rabam Illusion of Restraint, Go Step Forward, R&B Shadow Stomp, this is our second CC, a float, followed by a camera turn Fatal Blow to apply Air Attack Modifier, Shadow Slash Heart Aiming, C-swap, Serpent Ascension. Now that you understand how CC mechanics work, how to apply special attack modifiers, how to protect yourself, how to move, engage, disengage, how to utilize the WW Evasion Hotkey, and how to ankle whiff, you're finally ready to learn some combos. Let's go! I took off 2 rings and an earring to showcase these combos because I didn't want to kill them in 2 hits. This is the block jump variant of Danim's combo from earlier. I first Shadow Slash to pre-buff my attack speed. I block jump, this provides a stiff, pre-awakening grab, this is my first CC, a bound, followed by the ankle whiff. I go step backwards, ankle, which is then cancelled but with malice, then rabam, which I then cancel the ending animation with ghost step into R&B stomp. This provides me my second CC, a float. Camera turn, fatal blow to apply the air attack modifiers, shadow slash, heart aiming, C-swap, and serpent. If rabam is on cooldown, I start off with a pre-awakening grab to initiate my first CC, a bound, followed by a camera turn ankle whiff, ghost step backwards, malice, ankle to provide the DP debuff, C-swap, murderous intent, serpent to apply the second CC, float, ghost step backwards, C-swap forward, ankle, floor, stomp, brace to cancel the ending animation of clone, and then bladespin. This is the block jump variant if rabam is on cooldown. This is a combo I created myself. I start off with pre-awakening grab, which causes a bound, the first CC, camera turn, ankle whiff, ghost step backwards, shadow slash to the right, heart aiming, malice to cancel the animation of heart aiming, fatal blow into the flow, ankle cutter, crescent slash to provide me with my second CC, a float, fox claw, which receives all air attack modifiers, ankle, floor, stomp, clone, brace cancel into rabam, or C-swap serpent after shadow stomp if rabam is on cooldown. This is the block jump variant of my combo. Beheading of the Dead opener. Beheading of the Dead to apply the first CC, a stun. Malice at the end of the skill, rabam. Ghost step forward to cancel the ending animation of rabam. R&B stomp to apply our second CC, a float. Camera turn, fatal blow into the flow to apply air attack modifiers, shadow slash heart aiming, and then C-swap serpent. The second variant of the beheading opener. Beheading to apply our first CC, a stun, malice at the end of the skill, shadow slash into C-swap, serpent to apply our second CC, a float, ghost step backwards, C-swap forwards, ankle, floor, stomp, and rabam. Smokescreen opener. Smokescreen to apply the first CC, a stun. Concealment, then ghost step to move back towards the target. Rabam. Malice to cancel the ending animation of rabam. R&B stomp to apply the second CC, a float. Camera turn. Fatal blow into the flow to apply the air attack modifiers. Shadow slash heart aiming, C-swap, then serpent. Shadow stomp opener. Shadow Stomp to apply the first CC, a float. Camera turn, fatal blow into the flow to apply air attack modifier. Shadow slash into heart aiming. C-swap serpent to apply the second CC, a float. Ghost step backwards, C-swap forwards. Ankle, floor, rabam. Malice. Hopefully some of these combos will give you a good baseline for ninja PvP. It's up to you to find where these combos fit best, and how to modify them for the situation by shortening the combos depending on how many targets are around you. In the future, you can come up with your own combos with the knowledge you've learned here today. Everyone makes mistakes. It's your job as a ninja to figure out what they are and punish them for it. This is what makes a strong ninja. A common ninja mistake is when you cast Blade Spin, you actually have lingering super armor until the animation is done. However, if you cancel it with Malice, you lose all super armor properties of Blade Spin and can easily be punished. Just because you can down smash or air smash doesn't mean it will lengthen the CC duration of your entire combo. Whenever you use a float, it roughly lasts 2.5 seconds, but if you use an air smash, it will completely remove the float CC and replace it with the air smash. The same applies to down smashes after a knockdown. That's why it's more damaging to ignore the air smash or down smash and go for 2 filler skills than your second CC. Shadow Stomp's distance is dependent on how many attack speed buffs you stacked before you cast the Shadow Stomp. The first scenario is a regular Shadow Stomp. The second scenario has all the attack speed buffs. And lastly, the final scenario is all of your current buffs as well as Z buff. I'd like to give a shout out to all the people that have helped me. And lastly, I'd like to thank all of you who have supported and motivated me to make this Ninja Guide. I really appreciate all of your input, and I'm looking forward to making more content in the future. I also try to stream daily anytime from 8 PM to 5 AM EST. You can find my Twitch channel in the description below. If you liked the video, please click subscribe, followed by the notification bell to see more videos. And I'll catch you on the next one.